أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. While discussing the concept of legacy and we are discussing it in the perspective of Quran, and although we are also bringing in arguments from other scriptures and other uh, philosophies and even from science. Uh, Last time we had reached the point where we were discussing concept of present, what is present, and I had tried to summarize that present is not just the moment I'm living. So far as human action is concerned and the consequences of human action are concerned, or the consequences of creating a man and its impact on the planet in the environment is concerned, it is much wider than that. It starts from the past and it goes into the future. So we have to take all these things into consideration. And one philosopher has pointed out that it is at least 200 years which are available to impact at least. But there are people who impact the history, who impact thousands of years in the history. But he, according to his understanding, everyone has at least uh, a spectrum of 200 years available, which starts from the past and goes into the future, and we are the linchpin. This was the point where we had left the discussion. And this present is continuously moving. And I had also referred to the cone of light, which I've discussed in the context of time, concept of time. And I had pointed out that there's a difference in the uh, context of the usage of the words asr, dahar, saat, heen, zaman. In the Quran, they are used in appropriate context everywhere, wherever they have been discussed. All these things we had discussed, and now this was a very crucial point where I had said that I will pick up the discussion next time from here. This is about Kismat or Kudrat or about Taqdeer. Uh, Taqdeer is not as we think, Taqdeer is not as fixed as we think. And Taqdeer is not as uncertain for us as we think. And then in the concept of uncertainty, there is its relevance to the certainty. So we have to discuss these things together. Fundamental or uncertainty of life. For me, for everybody, for any living thing, or even for the entire planet, even for the entire universe, there is a degree, there is an element of uncertainty. What will happen? Nobody can predict. What is going to be done at what time? Nobody knows. And particularly for the Sa'at, word Sa'at, which Quran is used, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that nobody knows the Sa'at, only I know. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is Sa'at, when it will happen, how it will happen. He has only given us some glimpses of how the Sa'at will happen. So I had brought this ayat, Wallazi Qaddara Fahada. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala determined the dimensions, determined the space for us, determined the time, ajalam musamma, up to the point when it will finish. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala determined these coordinates. He determined the coordinates of the software and also the hardware. Within the hardware, how that software will operate. He determined the coordinates. He determined the features. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal Qadar Fahda. Qadara means that He determined our features, He determined our hardware, He determined our software. To that extent, it is determined. This is What determines, or you can call it taqdeer, ash-shams tajri limustaqan laha, zalika taqdeerul aziz al-alim. In that sense, it is taqdeer. Now, within that software, within those features, once those features are provided, the features of the hardware and features of the software, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I have given you enough hidayat. You can operate within it by the rationale which I have given you. You can choose out of the two ways. In whatever direction you go, I'll give you the hidayat of that direction. For example, you are working on computer, you have option to work in Adobe, or you have an option to work in Word. If you select Word, you will get all the instructions, all the facilities of Word. It's not that when you choose Word, you will get the instructions of Adobe, or if you choose Adobe, you will get the instructions of Word. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that within this qadar, I have provided you the guidance, the instructions, and for working with those instructions and using that features of your qadar, I have showed you two ways. And whatever way you choose, I have left it to you. But you will be held accountable for any one of the ways which you choose. But when you choose one way, I will guide you on that way. You will get all the instructions which are required for smoothly working with that software. And I had also tried to explain that when we say that we have selected a way, a sirat, and out of the Sirat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that my preferred way is because I am on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, or himself says, I am on Sirat al-Mustaqim. That is why I prescribe Sirat al-Mustaqim for you. Sirat is the way. And Sharia is the common traded path, that which is used by not one person, but by many, collectively, by the community, which is also prescribed from Allah, that when you choose Sirat al-Mustaqim, and Sharia is that which is traded continuously from Ibrahim to Muhammad, peace be upon them. So this is the common traded path is Sharia. And the mazhab is how we walk on that path. So one is Sirat, the way, the Sharia is the common treaded path, and then mazhab is the way we walk on it. For example, we fold the hands or we open the hands in whatever manner. I'm just giving a very small example. So mazhab is the way we walk. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I have made it minhaj for you. This way is minhaj. It is not limited access road. It is not limited access expressway or a motorway. It is an open way. Minhaj, you can access it from any point, wherever you are. And whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I call you irji, come back. Ya ayyathan nafsul mutmainna irji, come back. From that very point, when you listen that Allah's nida has come, you take the turn immediately and you can get on the path. It's not that you go further on that wrong path and get the interchange and then you get onto that path. It is minhaj. You take the turn immediately whenever you feel that you are on the wrong path or whenever you get a click. And that also has been provided with enough safeguards. When we are offline, if the Wi-Fi is not working, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it is within your nafs. And I provided the set of genes, social genes within you. Ma sabaha, what is that balances it? And within that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that even when you are offline, within your nafs, if the thief is, for example, committing a crime, he will, within his nafs, he will receive a signal that I am doing wrong. So you have to use those features also which are provided to you offline. For example, here the word is فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَهَا. Even in you are not connected. You may belong to any religion. You may belong to any I mean, sect. But if you are, as a human being, you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have provided you the enough guidance. I'm just trying to explain this, Fahda, that I have provided you a feature, and he explains it. For Allamaha, Fujuraha, wa Taqwa. It will tell you when you are connected and when you are disconnected, when you are on the right path or when you are off the road. It will tell you. For Allamaha, Fujuraha, wa Taqwa. And if you have even smallest sense as a human being, God will, and if you are not a Muslim or you are not a Christian, you are not, you don't belong to any religion, even then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I am connected with you, I keep my connection with you, Alka, you will receive my Alka, my flesh, even if you are not, I mean, conscious about it, but you will feel immediately. For example, even in danger, whom you call, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you immediately say, Allah, oh Allah, save me. And then I save you, and I give you the guidance. That is Alka. Wahi is something different. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided all these features which work with the instructions. With the instructions, I'm emphasizing, with the instructions, that is Hidayat. If we work without this hidayat, without these instructions, I say, no, I can, no computer, I can just press the keys and I can work it. It is not possible. I will not get the results. I will not be able to type what I want. I will not get the results. So all these features have to be used together, Father. And then there is another aspect of processing. When you get data, Sama and Basara, for example, through Sama and Basara, through these ports, we get the data. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that along with these features, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that I provided you Fawad. Fawad processes the material, the data which is provided by the different ports, five senses, for example. That data is then shuffled, qalb, up and down, made presentable. When it is made presentable, presented to the Sadr, the highest center of intelligence, and that center takes the decision. And it is here where the hikmat, from where the hikmat emanate. And it emanates with the, again, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we use at that time this hidayat with tafakkur, tawakkul, tazakkur, tadabbur, with tadbir, with fikr, with intelligence, and with due deliberation, then it's the not only the supercomputer which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, but the marvelous system which is operating this super system, supercomputer. All these things we have to understand, and then we have to operate according to these things. It's a small ayat, but it gives a lot of information. So this is then Qadr is again repeating to the extent of the determined dimensions of the hardware and software within which the instructions we can use with all these other features which are provided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our rationale. And there we have been given the independence to choose, and that for which we are accountable. I hope I've tried to be very precise, very simple in making it simpler and precise also. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in one point, in another ayat has mentioned that nothing is eternal, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is eternal. Entire universe, the universe which gets includes here and hereafter, the universe which includes here and hereafter, the Jannat and Jahannam also, everything which is created, any created thing is not eternal. It has ajalam musamma. And this ayat I had quoted, Surah 11, ayat 108. Now we proceed further. Shapes everything we do. This concept which we have discussed, whatever I have tried to summarize, this This concept shapes everything we do. For example, if we make a mistake, we say, no, there is taqdeer and everything is determined for me, I can't do anything, then I will not do anything. So, this concept, if we understand properly, shapes everything we do and is driven in part by how we think, tafakkur, ta'akul, tazakkur, tadabbur, how we use it, how my sadr is working. If my sadr is not working, and it is not using these features which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, and which is not hardware, that is software, then it is driven by in part by how we think about our place in the world. It will depend upon what is my place in the world. When we say our place in the world, it means not only my place in the world, but the place, everything which concerns me, the place of the Prophet, place of other human beings, place of the sun, everything else. It depends upon how I perceive. There are people who have perceived, conceived, conjectured rather. They have conjectured their own models of the universe, own model, how Allah is running this universe. There are jinns who are doing this thing for me. I can capture the jinns. Somebody advised a president in some journal, he was the president of a country, that if you capture jinns, you will have no problem of electricity, then you can produce, jinns will produce electricity for you. Now, these are the officially advised by a person who claimed to be the scientist, that if you capture jinn, let me work on capturing the jinns and they will make electricity for you. So then what is our place in the world? It will depend upon what we have discussed. And that is called worldview. And Quran explains it in very simple terms. Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir. And this was attested by Jibreel, a prophet, peace be upon him, attested it in the presence of Jibreel, that this is the concept. This is the worldview. Human emotions are also largely determined by our beliefs about future. Now, when we have reached this point, when we understand that my worldview about my place in the universe, it determines how I will do, how I will act, that is affected by my belief about future. Isa will come, Ismail will come, Mahdi will come. Every religion from Zoroastrians, from take any religion up to Muslims, they are waiting for somebody. That after suffering for thousands of years, millennia, that person will come only for a brief time and he will set the world, and when the world is set, then the world will finish. There will be Qiyamah. The world has been created for this. This is my worldview. That I'll suffer, the humanity will suffer for thousands of years. And then a person will come only for a couple of us, maybe with limited time, and he will set it, then what is the benefit of it? Then why should I do anything? That what we can turn, this also determines our resolve, that what I can do, what I can turn, how I can change the universe, how I can change the world, how I can change the circumstances, how I can change the situation. It affects that thinking. If I say, no, it's taqdeer, I can't do anything, I will not do anything. So then it gives me impetus. If I have this belief about the worldview, and I determine that yes, I can turn this, then we will really, it has also another further precise conception that I'll turn it well, it will turn to be well, it will give me good results. So that will be turning well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this context, in this perspective, in Surah 3, Ayat 195 has said, La yudiyu amal amilin. I don't waste the effort of anybody. At one point, I may feel that I have done this, I didn't get the result from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I made this dua, I didn't get this. I got this degree, I didn't get it. But there is something, maybe more, for the appropriate time. And because there is a promise that I don't waste anybody's amal. For the goal is what then? What is the goal of understand everything like this? Then what is my goal? What I want to achieve? What is my target? The goal is stability in my life so that I'm not taken away by the emotions. I don't go into depression. I don't go into anxiety. I don't become hopeless. La taqnatu min rahmatallah. I have a stable life. I have a determined life. I am full of determination, whatever the circumstances. Goal is stability without falling into the trap of taqdeer. I am determined. And I know that these coordinates are also determined. I know that the software is determined. But within that, whatever I can do, I should do, I will do, and it will turn out to be good for me because there is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the result is with Him. Result is with Him. This is, I work with this thinking in search of wisdom. Then let us see here. Keep this in mind. The goal is stability. Goal is not the achievement. Note these words. Goal is not the achievement. Goal is that I do the best. And I do the best with a stable mind. I do the best with determination, with constancy, consistency. I continue to do this. This is stability in one's personality. With stable mind, I do this. And then result, achievement, I leave to God. I have done my best. Oh Allah, Prophet also said this. Everybody said this. I have done my best. Now I leave it to your judgment how you give me the result of this. Without falling into the trap of certainty, and these are not my words, I put it into inverted commas, I borrowed these things. In search of wisdom, what is hikmat? One scientist of Max Planck Institute, Planck gave us the theory of electromagnetic forces. It's not just electricity or it's not just magnetism combined together, and it's one of the, I think, most prominent, one of the most prominent institutes, important institutes in the world. He defines wisdom, hikmat, as a state of knowledge. We claim that we have hikmat. We claim there is hikmat in Quran. Yes, there is hikmat in Quran. We claim there are ulum in Quran. It has got all the ulums. But the point is, do we know? What is the level of our knowledge? What is the expanse of our knowledge? A state of knowledge, if there is no knowledge, there will be no wisdom. A state of knowledge about the human condition. In which condition I am living? What is my place in the universe? What is my place on the planet? If I don't know this, then I don't have any knowledge. If I don't have any knowledge about myself, about my place or my position, my worldview on the planet, a state of knowledge about the human condition, about how it comes about, evolution, how it works, how the life came about, which factors shape it, environment, oxygen, hydrogen, water, radiation. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in this in Quran? Why has He invited our attention to these things? We don't know. These people say, these scientists say that if we don't know what is shaping our life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have made the sun Sirajan and Wahajan. What is the difference between Sirajan and Wahajan? We have taken into mystic interpretations. Vahajan, radiation, how it shapes our life, how it affects our life. If there's no cosmic background of muons, muons are subparticles which are born within a friction, say billionth of a second, and they die within the billionth of a second, then what was the purpose of creating these muons? And these muons are continually being born and completely being annihilated. And this continuity creates a cosmic background in the universe. If this cosmic background was not there, no animal, no living thing we conceive. We will not be born. Look at the precise science. So, how these things are shaping us, we don't want to know. We say, no, we will read Quran only for sawab. And we are not going to listen to the other view if there is. How one deals with difficult problems, difficult situations, we just leave it to God. God will do for me. Everything God will do. Make a dua for me. God will do this for me. I don't need to do this. He will do it for me. And how one organizes one's life. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, and then there are certain details also to some extent, that I'm giving you risk from the above. From the heavens, I'm sending you the risk. How? We are growing cotton, we are growing wheat on the ground, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I'm giving you from above. If early in the morning, when the rays which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in different ayat, in one surah, particularly in one surah, has completely explained how the sun rises, how these different types of rays enter the environment, the atmosphere, then they creep along the planet, the earth, and then how it comes to the Vasatan, and how they come to the meridian, how then at the perpendicular, how they heat up the earth. We don't want to understand this. Therefore, we don't wake up early in the morning to go to the land to give water. That is the time and particular type of radiation is required in the root zone. For example, in wheat, when the nitrogen fixation takes place, if there is a difference in the temperature, mixing of water, and the earth is not open, the ground is not open, which we call Godi, if it is not properly plowed, the fixation will not take place. The nitrogen fixation will not take place in the root. It will not work. It is coming from above. This one example. In such a manner that when we are old, now this is a legacy. We understand everything. Now these are not my words again. These scientists say that if we understand this, if we understand our worldview, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been very kind to us, that He explained, He taught us the worldview. When we are old, these scientists say, Planck Institute, we judge it to be meaningful. I said that I'm not talking about the achievement. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us that it is meaningful. It has a meaning. It has a purpose. You did it well. You have tried your best. You tried it to be meaningful, even if you don't achieve it. I got a degree in chemistry, but I didn't become a chemical chemist. That doesn't matter. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded me in a different way. And I find that my life has become meaningful. So the point is that these scientists, philosophers, people of wisdom, they are pointing out to the things which are already in Quran. We say, oh yes, this is in Quran, but we don't study ourselves what is in Quran. I leave the discussion here, and next time, inshallah, we'll start discussion from here. Subhan Rabbika Rabbil Izzat Amma Yasifun wa Salamun ala al-Mursaleen walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت، وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت، فإنك يا ربنا تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اخرجنا من ظلمات الجهل والوهم إلى نور العلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا، وانفعنا بما علمتنا، وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك، وبطاعتك عن معصيتك، وبفضلك عمن سواك. اللهم بفضلك ورحمتك أعلي كلمة الحق والدين. اللهم انصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين يا أكرم الأكرمين. Oh Allah, spread your mercy upon us, shower us with your blessings, increase our knowledge, grant us forgiveness, and reward us with the company of the prophets in the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, purify our hearts, strengthen our faith, increase our knowledge, and make us benefit from what you have taught us. Oh Allah, forgive our parents and all our friends and relatives who have passed away. Oh Allah, make their graves garden from heaven and grant them the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, we have many of our friends and relatives who are sick. Oh Allah, grant to all of them full and speedy recovery. Oh Allah, guide our children, protect them, and make them righteous. O Allah, grant us the power and the ability that we may be grateful for the favors you have bestowed upon us and our parent, and that we may do righteous deeds that are pleasing to you. O Allah, we seek from you all of the good, whether we know it or we don't. And we seek your refuge from all evil, whether we know it or we don't. O Allah, we seek refuge in you from incapacity, from laziness, from fear, from greed, from poverty, and from the torment of the grave. O Allah, we have many of our brethren who are living under oppression and injustice. O Allah, heal their trauma, protect their helpless, and grant them lasting peace and prosperities. O Allah, we ask with every name you have elected for yourself, that none of us leave this gathering, but his pains have been relieved, his worries have been removed, his debts have been paid, his weaknesses have been concealed, his sins have been forgiven, and his needs have been fulfilled. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.